Hello everyone, my name's Helen Prosser and I'm one of the founders of Brilliant Beginnings, and this is part of a series that we've pulled together that really underpins some of the structure of a really good, well set up surrogacy arrangement here in the UK. Today I'm really delighted to introduce you to Natalie Gamble, who is my business partner and long-standing friend, and Nicola Scott, who is a solicitor who offers legal advice to our surrogates who go through Brilliant Beginnings. They're just going to talk a little bit about some of the legal aspects and the things that are going to be really important for you to think about in relation to surrogacy arrangement.
So the law in the UK is there to kind of support surrogacy, but it all happens in a bit of a delayed way after the birth happens. So when the baby's born, initially the surrogate is recorded as the legal mother on the birth certificate. If she's married, then her spouse goes on as the father or the other parent. And there is then a legal process which happens after that. So the intended parents will make an application to the family court for something that's called a parental order. And this is a specific order that's designed for surrogacy. So it transfers parenthood away from the surrogate and her spouse to the intended parents. And at the end of the process, the court makes an order which enables the birth certificate to be reissued. So there's a new birth certificate which has both intended parents' names on it, or one intended parent's name on if the intended parent is a single parent, and the surrogate's responsibilities in law are extinguished at that point in time. So it tends to go quicker if the parents are being represented by a lawyer, because they will kind of help push everything through and deal with the courts. So where we're representing parents, we're usually looking at getting to a final order within about 4 to 6 months after the birth. If parents are representing themselves in that process, it tends to take a bit longer, and you're looking at maybe between 6 and 12 months.
Usually with the Brilliant Beginnings surrogates, we meet at quite an early stage in the journey in terms of the actual pregnancy. So usually I would meet with surrogates before a pregnancy has been established. So by that time, you'll have probably had already a bit of a journey with Brilliant Beginnings. But in terms of the pregnancy and the legal side of things, you're still at quite an early stage in the whole picture. We would basically have a bit of a chat about where you are in the journey, how you're feeling about things. Have you got any questions to start with about the legal side? Because usually people come to me and they already have a list of questions or concerns that, whilst they've been through thousands of different scenarios of Brilliant Beginnings, actually on the legal side, that throws up a whole nother scenario, I suppose. So I like to try and tailor what we call the legal review to really go through, firstly, what's concerning you, what's on your mind, what are your questions, and then we go through the process as a whole. You know, what does it really look like in terms of the criteria for a parental order? What will your role be in the process? Will you have to go to court? Will you have to meet with CAFCAS? So whilst the situation is similar for everybody, it's also got its differences. Some surrogates will say to me, actually, I'm really concerned what might happen if my intended parents split up. Whereas others might say to me, actually, I'm not worried about that at all. I'm just worried about if I have to go to court. What will I need to do? What will I need to wear? How long is the process going to take?
With surrogacy, there are particular issues because of that gap in time where the wrong people are the legal parents. So it's just kind of everybody protecting each other to make sure that all of those kind of potential gaps are covered.
Wills are a really important subject for surrogates, because not only from a surrogacy perspective, protecting you and protecting your family and also your intended parents from a surrogacy perspective, but also once the parental order has been granted and the legal side of things, as Natalie explained, once that's all dealt with, done and dusted, actually going forwards for you, those wills that we put in place are also going to set you up for what you want for your own family in terms of guardianship, in terms of inheritance. So that's something we would look at generally as part of the package as well. Our relationship goes back a very long way, so it's probably important to say we all know each other really well. But equally, on the same hand, this is completely independent. And actually, when I advise surrogates, it's very much a safe space, and everything is confidential, and the relationship is between us. So actually, I think we have really the best of both worlds, because we are all working together. We do all know each other really well. And if concerns crop up, we can have those conversations. But equally, there is that confidentiality there, and hopefully the ability for surrogates to feel that when they speak with me, you know, they can speak freely, and equally me back to them.
We only allow people to join if they meet the basic criteria for the parental order. So for surrogates, that means that you've got that kind of confidence that there is going to be that legal solution, and that you're not going to be kind of left with things being unresolved and you having kind of responsibility for this child that isn't yours in the longer term. What we tend to do within the NGA law team is then to have a legal review meeting with intended parents once they've been matched. But we're also then there for them for the rest of the journey. So we often find that legal questions crop up along the way about all sorts of things. It might be when, you know, people are going through treatment. It might be to do with maternity leave rights around employment, all those sorts of things. And the NGA team works really closely with everyone at Brilliant Beginnings. So we're there kind of on tap to answer all your legal questions.